Welcome in, everyone, to our Cracked Racquets French Open Week 1 recap. Now, a lot has happened during this first week in Paris, so to help make sense of all of the madness, Jamie McDonald and I whittled down our 8 best takes. We're going to play a little game of good take, bad take, hot take, talk about the men's and women's action. With that in mind, let's get to our topic.
All right, Gruskin. So Dominic Thiem, a guy many have labeled as the next person to dominate on the clay. But look, Rafa Nadal's still around, and I don't know if you've noticed, but Djokovic isn't looking too bad on the red surface either. So for me, the question becomes, okay, Dominic Thiem, we saw him win the U.S. Open. What does it really mean for him to win another major? My take for you today is that Dominic Thiem will win another major title before winning his first French Open title. Your thoughts?
So I'm happy because we've recorded a bunch of these for the French Open, and I haven't gotten to say this yet, Jamie. I think that's a bad take, and it's not because Dominic Thiem isn't capable on other non-clay surfaces. Obviously, he just won the U.S. Open. Obviously, he made the final of this year's Australian Open. I just think when you look at the layout of the current ATP game, how many players there are who are so young and outstanding and getting ready to break through, I think more of them are good on other surfaces comparatively to Dominic Thiem compared to the gap between him on clay and everyone else. And you can throw out Wimbledon, right, because that's just not going to be Dominic Thiem's go-to surface. But you look on the hard courts, guys like Zverev, guys like Medvedev, guys like Tsitsipas, guys like obviously Novak Djokovic, who still has yet to lose a match that he wasn't defaulted from in 2020. I think for Dominic Thiem, it is going to come on clay, and I think he's going to win more than one Roland Garros in his career, and I think that's going to be where he starts to pad his Grand Slam stats. Now, is this a very bad take? No, not by any stretch of the imagination. It's honestly a feasible take. I just think for Dominic Thiem, A, he's not that far away from winning the French Open, and B, there are a lot of other young guys who are coming very close to winning at the other slams.
Yeah, look, hey, I can take that criticism because it's fair. Let me say this. Dominic Thiem, his best surface is still the clay. I'm not contesting that point at all. For me, though, there's a couple of things that go into this. First of all, he's got double the amount of chances on a hard court. Say we are throwing out Wimbledon. He's got Australian U.S. Open every year. That's 2-1 against the French every single year. He has a possibility, and I think he's going to continue to make deep runs. So that's point one. Point two, I think Nadal is still so good on the on the clay and at the French Open that I think he's got a couple more titles in him at the least, and Djokovic has been phenomenal on the clay as well. And so those two guys seem to be locking down Roland Garros. And that's not to say that they won't lock down the other ones as well, but to me, Thiem's just going to have more cracks at a hard court title. So I see it as a potential. I see it as a potential threat, especially because Nadal has looked so good on this clay. He might not give Thiem any wiggle room for the next few years.
You're right. It might be more hot take than bad take. I guess the question is, what's closer to happening? Dominic Thiem beating Rafa at the French, or Dominic Thiem beating Novak at the hard court slams? And, again, you want to turn to the numbers. Thiem did push Djokovic to 5 sets in the Australian Open. So I was wrong. It's a hot take, not a bad take. But overall, definitely an interesting take. So that's it for this take. Now, if you want to hear the rest of our thoughts on Week 1 of the French Open, be sure to click on the link right on your screen. Also, be sure to check out the rest of our Cracked Racquets content, the Mini Break, the Great Shot Podcast, all of the above, which you can find on our website, crackedrackets.com. But we hope you enjoyed this video, and we hope you enjoyed the rest of this 2020 French Open.